Right now, what I want to do is talk about, basically it's a lot of facts, but primarily it's four main facts about popping. First, the music. Popping is done to funk. And what I mean by funk, I mean old school funk. Stuff like Sun by Sun Is Here, Peanut Butter by Lenny White 29, Cameo, Cameosis, Rigor Mortis, Postmortem, Let's Get Crackin' by Shock, Ohio Players, Ohio, Kool in the Gang, Parliament, Zap, which came later, but groups like One Way, like Fatback Band, stuff like that. That is like one of the most probably misconceived things about popping, because most people outside of Southern California got popping late. They didn't get it, you know, when it should have been received. They got it kind of late. So, and they got it through the breaking era, so they kind of associated with that kind of clothes. Now, breaking had its own clothing, its own music, and its own character, you know, and you know, it just had everything. Popping had its own. Popping had its own clothing, its own music, its own attitude, and so that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. Also, you know, popping originated in Northern California and moved to Southern California in like '76 when Boogaloo Sound brought it to Long Beach, California. And popping clothes, like what I'm wearing, basically is the way we used to dress. Now, of course, it started out, popping has always been a stagey dance. It was never, it was like, if you go way back like to Electric Boogaloo's, Granny and the Robotronics, the Frankensteins, Close Encounter of the Third Kind, Close Encounter of the Funkiest Kind, the Mysterios, all of them, everybody dressed in baggy clothes like, or some wearing tuxedos with top hats. You know, it was always a classy thing. Like back in the days in the old school functions, West Coast relays, school dances, dances at parks, Uncle Jam's Army, you could tell what dance a person did just by the way he was dressed. You knew if he was a locker, you knew he was going to have on wristbands and like they call knickers. And if you knew if he was dressed kind of in baggy clothes, he was a popper. You knew who was a robot. Everybody always dressed what they represented. And I think that's got lost today. But you see breakers always dressed like breakers, and hip-hop dancers always dressed with the saggy clothes, sagging. You know, you can look and say, oh, he's a hip-hop, or he's a house dancer, he's a freestyler, or this one is a breaker. You know, lockers. Now, like the new generation of guys who's getting experience or getting exposed to the old school, they just dressing anyway. You know, a popper dressed like a breaker, you know, or a locker dressed like a breaker, but breakers always dress like breakers, and that gives them their identity. And I think if you're a popper, you lose your identity if you dress not like what you do. You don't represent it. So basically, that's another thing that I want to say.